stories. I recommend that you govern your actions by thinking about where you might go and who you might encounter, said Judge Christy Comstock during a virtual detention hearing on Wednesday, May 5th. Duggar has been the subject of controversy since 2019. In November of that year, investigators arrived at his house unannounced while executing a search warrant. According to findings from Homeland Investigations Special Agent Gerald Faulkner, Duggar had child pornography footage on his computer that traced back to May 2019. As his case has now gained national attention, many have wondered how Duggar was able to escape detection for so long. According to Faulkner, who shared his findings from Duggar's house during the hearing, the 33-year-old father was using 3 tools to conceal himself: a dark web network called Tor, an anonymity partition called Linux, and a software program called Covenant Eyes. Covenant Eyes is an accountability tool meant for individuals overcoming porn addiction. The software sends regular updates to the user's browser history to a partner, in this case Anna, but if the person used Tor and Linux, Faulkner said any reports from Covenant Eyes would likely be inaccurate. Faulkner, who worked on over 1,000 cases of child abuse and pornography, said in the hearing that he would place the images he found in the top 5 of the worst that I've ever had to examine. The files allegedly depicted sexual abuse involving children as young as 18 months and as old as 12. Josh has 6 children. The youngest is 17 months, and the oldest is 11. Duggar is the oldest child of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, who infamously had 19 kids and a TLC show spanning 7 seasons. As followers of the conservative Christian Quiverfall movement and the Institute in Basic Life Principles, the Duggars don't believe in birth control. They live an extremely devout lifestyle. For example, their children are not allowed to wear shorts, lest they arouse desires in someone that cannot be righteously fulfilled. Although Duggar was only arrested last week, the allegations he faces and his parents' complacency date back almost 20 years. In 2015, In Touch Weekly first published a police report that showed he had confessed to molesting minors 3 times before the family decided to seek help in 2003. Over a year after his first confession, Jim Bob met with the elders of his church and told them what was going on. No one reported his crimes to authorities. He went to a Christian program that Michelle later admitted was just a family friend's house. In 2006, Jim Bob took Josh to see another friend of the family, Arkansas State Trooper Jim Hutchins. Hutchins gave Josh a very stern talk. According to In Touch, Hutchins took no action, and he's currently serving his own sentence for charges of child pornography. By the time police finally opened an investigation, the statute of limitations had passed. After the allegations were made public, Josh released a statement. 12 years ago, as a young teenager, I acted inexcusably, for which I am extremely sorry and deeply regret. I hurt others, including my family and close friends, he wrote in 2015. I confessed this to my parents, who took several steps to help me address the situation. But even in 2015, Jim Bob seemed to defend Josh's actions. He said he was just curious about girls, and he had gone in and just basically touched them over their clothes while they were sleeping, he told Fox News in 2015. They didn't even know he had done it. They also claimed that his victims, including his sisters, had forgiven him. At the time, they put on a united front. Jessa said that his behavior was very wrong, but she found it so overboard and a lie, really, that people were doubting him a pedophile or a child molester. I mean, people get mad at me for saying that, but I can say this because I was one of the victims, she said. But now, some of his family members are starting to speak out. His sister, Ginger, said that she was disturbed by the news of the charges. We want to make it clear that we absolutely condemn any form of child abuse and fully support the authorities and judicial process and their pursuit of justice. She and her husband, Jeremy, wrote on Instagram. Derek Diller, who is married to Jill, also wrote on Twitter that the public was deceived when it came to the Dogger family, and he liked several tweets calling for the cancellation of their TLC spinoff, Counting On. One of the tweets he liked also accused Jim Bob of emotional abuse. Speaking to Dogger, Judge Comstock said she was greatly concerned with images and approximate ages of children in these images are very close to the ages of your children and your nephews and nieces, she added. I keep coming back to this overriding concern that the court has about the children that you live and interact with on a daily basis and the crimes that you are charged with. Dogger's trial will be held in July, and if convicted, he could face a total of 40 years in prison. But he isn't the only member of his community who could be a danger to their children. There are many religious figures, parents, and authorities that failed to protect his sisters, failed to protect his wife and children from a potential predator, and failed to adequately intervene while they could. The party was meant to be part of a process to initiate new members who would be introduced to their fraternity big brothers. It was there that the new members, most of whom were underage, according to CBS, were given a bottle of alcohol and told they must consume all of it, approximately 750 milliliters. Dobson says Foltz drank nearly all of the bottle, then was taken home by several fraternity members, including his assigned big Jacob Cran. The members left Foltz alone until his roommate found him. His roommate called first responders and started to perform CPR prior to their arrival. Foltz was transported to the nearest hospital, where he died 3 days later. Obviously, I want this to be the only and last time that this type of case is prosecuted in Wood County, Dobson said during Thursday's press conference, and please, God, let it be the last time that it's prosecuted in the United States. The latest tragic hazing indictment is far from the first to occur on college campuses across the country. According to a 2008 national study, 73% of students involved or hoping to be involved in fraternities and sororities experienced behaviors meeting the definition of hazing in order to join or maintain membership. The most common type of hazing, according to the same study, is participating in drinking games or binge drinking. Kren, who took Volz home and left him alone, is the only student or former student to be charged with first-degree manslaughter, as he was more directly involved in the incident. He is also charged with felony assault. If found guilty, Kren faces upwards of 19 years in prison for both crimes. The 7 additional defendants face a slew of charges ranging from third-degree felony manslaughter to obstructing justice, all of which carry a maximum of 3 years in prison. Currently, none of the 8 defendants have been detained, but have instead received a summons to appear in court on May 19th. We're living every parent's worst nightmare, and will not be at peace until fraternity hazing is seen for what it truly is, abuse, Folt's family said in a statement to CBS Ohio affiliate WTOL. It is unacceptable, and, in Stone's case, it is fatal. How many injuries and deaths will it take for people in positions of power to do the right thing? On Tuesday, a grand jury in Idaho formally accused Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow of murder in connection with the deaths of Vallow's 2 children, Tylee Ryan and Joshua J.J. Vallow. Additionally, Daybell has been charged with the murder of his ex-wife, Tammy Daybell, who allegedly died in her sleep only a few weeks before he married Vallow. Arrest warrants were issued for the couple on Tuesday, and they are to be held without bail. According to court documents, both Daybell and Vallow are being charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. They are already facing charges related to destroying and hiding evidence related to the disappearance of Tylee and JJ. Furthermore, Daybell is charged with insurance fraud for altering his ex-wife's life insurance just over a month before she died, increasing the death benefit to the maximum amount. Vallow faces additional charges of grand theft for allegedly continuing to withdraw Social Security benefits for each of her children after their deaths. However, prosecutors are focused on the 2 children who went missing and were eventually found dead. Every person who has worked on this case is to be commended for their diligence and steadfast pursuit of justice for Tammy, Tylee, and JJ, Madison County Prosecutor Rob Wood said in a statement. Tylee and JJ's disappearance became national news in late 2019 when Daybell and Vallow promptly left Idaho for Hawaii after they were questioned by police about the whereabouts of the children and the recent death of Tammy Daybell. Both children were last seen on different days in September 2019, but Daybell and Vallow were not charged in connection with the children's disappearance until June 2020, when their remains were found on Daybell's property in Fremont County, Idaho. The new indictments do not provide details on how investigators believe Tammy Daybell, Ty Lee, and JJ were killed, but they do cite the couple's religious beliefs as a factor in the murders. The grand jury cited evidence that Daybell and Vallow spoke over text of Tammy Daybell being possessed by a spirit due to the grand jury proceedings being held in strict confidence, sealing them from the public. It is unknown what evidence led the jury to indict when they did. Vallow previously pleaded not guilty in September to 2 felony counts of conspiracy to destroy, alter, or conceal evidence following the discovery of the remains of Daybell's property. In August, Daybell pleaded not guilty to 2 charges of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence, and 2 felony counts of destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. As far as the murder charges are concerned, neither Daybell nor Vallow appear to have entered a formal plea yet. The penalty for the murder charges alone range from life in prison without parole to the death penalty, reports ABC News. Prosecutors have not disclosed what penalty they will pursue, despite delays in the case due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I want to assure everyone that despite the delays, we have been working diligently to pursue justice for the victims in this case to ensure we have the evidence required to prove the facts beyond a reasonable doubt in the court of law, Fremont County Prosecutor Lindsay Blake told reporters. The first search in February, which occurred for reasons not made public, led to a second warrant for April, where police said they were looking for items of interest across California and Washington. According to Tony Chapella, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but that's what I'm going with, a spokesperson for the San Luis County Sheriff's Office, police recovered some items of interest in the case during the second search. The warrants, however, are still sealed, and no details on what was found in Flores's house can currently be made public. Following Paul and Ruben Flores' arrests on Tuesday, Smart's parents released a public statement. It is impossible to put into words what this day means for our family. We pray it is the first step to bringing our daughter home, the statement read. While Kristen's loving spirit will always live in our hearts, our life without her hugs, laughs, and smiles is a heartache that never abates. The knowledge that a father and son, despite our desperate pleas for help, could have withheld this horrible secret for nearly 25 years, denying us the chance to lay our daughter to rest, is an unrelenting and unforgiving pain. We now put our faith in the justice system and move forward, comforted in the knowledge that Kristen has been held in the hearts of so many and that she has not been forgotten, the statement continued. To heal, we must remember not only Kristen, but also every heart that carried Kristen and our family in theirs. If you're new, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, as it really helps me out. And if you are already subscribed, welcome back and thank you for subscribing.